Hello and welcome to the theElpyDimension. I'm your guide, Elpy, and this is the Canadian Nightcrawler bin and fruit flies. And it's been 5 days. Today is the 1st of May. Yeah. 2025. I'm gonna have to go into some serious fruit fly extermination here. There's a Canadian Nightcrawler. I just wanted, it's been 5 days since I gave them a feeding, and I have some more weeds to give to them, and we're just going to lay it on top. But maybe you saw my last video. Yeah, I gave them potting soil, potting mix, and we found a breeding pair of worms over here. I also gave them some coffee grounds. So I quickly turned away when I found, sounds funny, the breeding worms, and did not wind up looking in here. And I'm not going to do a thorough look through today either. I just want to peek in a little bit. And these guys are so cool, man. They're so big. They're just freaking awesome. So let's just kind of peek around a little bit. Also, I want to see the moisture level. This material doesn't, well, I guess they don't compost as, look at them popping out. Yeah, they're very, if you've not been here before and seen, or you don't know, they react significantly to disturbance. Look how pretty, what a cool iridescence. Yeah, get to moving around in here and they're like, whoa, what's going on? Yeah, it's... That one's very iridescent. The light, the phone light isn't doing it justice. This one, you can't really see it in the way I can. Which really makes me wonder what resolution I have my phone on. I have a feeling it's not 4K. Alright. I need to have a look. Look, there's a baby slug. Oh, sorry, dude. I didn't actually squish him because he was just looking around. I need to have a look, see, on this side, because this bin is leaning. I need to see just how moist it is, and if I need to do some remediation. What I was going to say, though, is at the same time that I was thinking, well, they're not known for composting. I mean, they do, but I'm like, this, their castings seem way more sort of broken up. But there's a lot of potting soil in here. Okay, this is, yeah, okay. I can see it's very wet down there. Now, the biggest thing I'm going to look for, one, I want to see, is it wet? Two, I want to see, are there worms down there? Because it's always interesting. Yeah, there's standing water. It's always interesting to see how much the worms do or don't get into that moisture. And it would appear there's nobody down there. And this stuff just keeps falling down. And what I want to do is add, sorry guys, I know you're all running away. I want to put, this was on the side. Just trying to see if there's any like cocoons, or they seem really extra iridescent to me today. Very cool. Okay. Like, what's going on over here? I don't know, guys. It's really weird, though. She's back. They're so cool. So let's take some of this top stuff. This is the main corner that I want to see, though, because this is where it leans most to the right. So I want to see how much water is. Oh, there's a worm all the way down there. See, I've added paper before. And while, you know, these guys move around so much that just because there's somebody down there, I can't automatically... Oh, he looks like he's hanging out down there. I was going to say, I can't automatically, with as much as they move around, be like, oh, look at this. That is a red wiggler. So, I think I should leave the red wiggler in here. I was like, oh, it's a baby worm. No, it's not. That clitellum, only sexually mature worms have a clitellum, and this is not. And you see, it doesn't have the flat spoon-like tail. And it has the stripes. I think we're going to leave... Yeah, we're going to leave the red wiggler in there. He's not hurting anything. Okay. I'm just sort of briefly looking. I've found 2 cocoons before, like a month ago. Yeah, so I was saying that just because we saw that worm down there doesn't mean that that he's necessarily hanging out down there. Yeah, see what I'm saying? This is this worm's clitellum, and their tail, oh, you can't see it right now, but their tail flattens out like a spade, and that's clearly a different looking worm. But yeah, it doesn't mean that that worm hadn't moved over here. Like I said, since we know they move so readily, I don't know if that worm had moved there since I've been in the bin, or had it been there. But it's very wet down there, and when you think about anisic worms that, you know, burrow in large vertical tunnels, I doubt, you know, I'm sure they come up for moisture and come up when it rains and move when it rains. So once I move all that material, there's not so much standing water that it's not being collected by the matter, but it's enough to make me say, all right, let's do something about that. Yeah. So this was a paper bag or cardboard or something. I'm going to go ahead and just put I'm so tempted to just put a whole paper bag. You know I'll do it. super absorbent, but absorbent enough to also create an air pocket down there, which, by the way, the temperature is about 60 degrees Fahrenheit down here, so about we'd say 61, 62, and that's showing as 17 degrees Celsius, thereabouts. So it's warming up. Remember, these guys, you may or may not know, do not care for warm temperatures. So that is the trick. A lot of people don't keep Canadian Nightcrawlers because they don't like warmer temperatures. Like, to the degree that they really want to be kept at 50 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, what, like 12 to 17 degrees Celsius, something to that effect. So, yeah. And if you're new here, I just started this bin in, why does it seem like there's like a tunnel down there? That was weird. Hopefully not. I've not seen any evidence of rodents in my bins, let alone in the basement. I know that it's not impossible. They do sometimes. I've got traps set should they decide to show up. But that was weird. Yeah, it was like a tunnel. Well, I also didn't see any sort of evidence. When I first went in the bin. Anywho, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I started this bin January 25th with 75 store-bought, big box store bought Canadian Nightcrawlers. I counted them 5 or 6 weeks later, and there were only 70 that I found, and I'd say I did a pretty thorough search. So, you know, you lose. I did find 2 cocoons, and I thought potentially 5 of them could have been dead from the get-go, and I was surprised that all of them were alive. So the fact that some died later is not a huge. There's our red wiggler. End of the world kind of thing. All right, now for the fun part. I'm going to keep the cardboard on top. Here's the whole main reason. I checked on these guys after 5 days because I have a whole bunch of weeds. This is essentially another feeding. Trying to balance the bucket. And there's some rainwater attached, but given the moisture in this bin, I don't think we need that. However, there was some soil at the bottom. Okay, look at how much this is. I think I should give it to someone else. Share it. It's a lot. Now that I've taken it out officially, I'm like, ooh, there's a lot. But there's going to be more where this came from, for sure. So I think we will go ahead and leave this as a nice thick blanket of hairy bittercress and chickweed. Now, I am going to... I think this is a good... I think I'm not going to mess with them for at least 2 weeks now. And yeah. And let this be what it is. Because I think they have enough. I mean, this stuff is really viney. So maybe it, yeah. We'll see. It's not woody though, so it should break down sooner than later and everything underneath it. All right. I'm still going to put the cardboard on top. Just 'cause. Just for, and then the bubble mail. Awesome. Thanks so much for your time and your interest. Check out my playlist for Canadian Nightcrawlers if you want to see more. You can find that on my channel. It's called Canadian Nightcrawlers. But I also have a all things worm farming playlist as well for all my worm videos, but also there are some videos on there from other worm farmers that I follow. Sweet. Thank you so much for your time and your interest. Be safe, be well. Bye for now.